My topic today is from the basic things that were left to us to be complete and live in this world and enjoy it. When he was asked, how shall we know that these people are following your example? And he said, by thy fruits you shall know them. And he pointed out 9 fruits. The first fruit was love, which I spoke about a couple of months ago. The second one was joy, and I spoke that the following week. And the third one is peace, which I'm going to speak today. And so we go down to patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. And it says with these things, there is no law. And we have people arresting every day because what happens? They hate. They're angry. They don't have the patience, use kindness, and all these things. See, they're doing the opposite. When we're talking of peace, we know that the world has always mentioned peace, and the biggest peace movement was during the 60s when the hippies were saying, peace, everybody, peace, but they didn't have it complete. It was just a fraction of what they understood. So from the beginning of our country, and I'm going to simplify the things, that we've never had peace here in the United States because going back to historical times, we talk about the first war, which was the Revolutionary War with George Washington. The next war was the War of 1812. Then there was the Mexican-American War. And then, of course, we all know the Civil War, the rights for the blacks and against the South and the North. And we have a wonderful figure that came out of it, Mr. Abraham Lincoln, to teach us what it was to be loving and acceptance. From each thing, we learn something. We see the aspect of war, but something greater come out because in the first Revolutionary, we came out with a great president. Anyway, there was a Spanish-American War, and then we had World War I, World War II. After that, we thought everything was going to be peace and security, and the Bible says, and there will come destruction. And came the Korean War, which was a pretty lengthy war. And then after that, we heard a Desert Storm, which was very short. And we've been in Afghanistan for many years. But what Jesus was talking about, it wasn't the peace that we're going to have in the world forever. It's the peace that goes in you. Because I notice, and in my way of life, I go to stores and I go walking down the street, and these people are so angry. They war with neighbors. They war with their own families. They're at war with the worst wars that happen is these people driving cars. I saw somebody shoot a man because he was mad and the guy got in his way. He pulled the gun, shot the guy. Good thing he didn't kill him. It just had a wound in his leg. But this is what's going on in life. So we have to express ourselves. All these points that Christ said, when you're sitting by the side of a river and you throw a little pebble, that pebble goes in. And all of a sudden, you see rings around and they go out. So there's peace. Peace be in the middle where we are. And then it encompasses all those that get but the world is trying to make peace out here with all the nations and all, when the everyday people at work, people in school, the kids are just fighting. There's no peace, you see. And even neighbors, I had a neighbor that started something like that years ago, but I said, no, I'm not gonna. And she was very difficult. She was the most difficult person that I've ever seen. She tried my patience. And you know what? I learned from that because I could have said, you don't treat me like that. Don't treat me like that. Because I can give you a 30-day notice to move because this is my place. But I never said anything. She was tearing me up and down. Every word that she could think. So she said, get out of here. I don't want you in my house. But you know what? This woman, I noticed that she had many hurts. And I saw her through the eyes of Christ. Because in other times, I could have told her a few things. But then I remember what Christ said. Be good to those that persecute you. When she did that, I left and I didn't show up for about 3-4 days. And then she goes, oh, Oh, good morning. Oh, like nothing happened. So I never mentioned a thing, everything. Guess what I brought you? And I said, I brought you a breakfast burrito. She's, oh my God, that's what I love. You see, there's that saying, kill them with kindness, because they don't understand that. And they step back and said, whoa, look at the way I treat her. So I've got to be different. So in a way, you're making them change and making them see that not everybody's going to respond. Do you remember in the musical, the Jews leaving Russia, and they go, Rabbi, they're going to come 3 days. What are we going to do? Just lay in here, do nothing? He says, some of them say, yeah, we'll fight. And then we got knives. We'll fight. He says, remember what it said in the Old Testament? The Old Testament said an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Meaning, if you cut somebody's hand, your hand was cut. So the rabbi says, well, if we do an eye for an eye, the world will be toothless and blind. What is that going to be? So it's tit for tat. So anyway, we have to every day think on these things because it's important. When the doctor goes to school for all those years, after he does the studies, guess what he has to do? He has to go in the hospital and practice, and that's not very easy because they get sometimes 24 shift, and they barely get 5 minutes, but they're practicing. And practicing is what gets us. And it says, and you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. When we experience all these things and apply them in our daily life, in our homes, first in our homes, in our workplace, in social places, out where we meet people and experience this, and people just come to you because they find it's such a magnetism that they can't understand why a person is so peaceful and patient and loving. One of the greatest examples that I learned from was my mother-in-law. She was a beautiful person, and my mother, both, they were exactly, they experienced this to 100%. Because my mother took everybody that didn't have a home, didn't have anything to eat. They came to my house. I said, when are these people going to go home? Well, they don't have a job yet, so we'll have to just wait. They'll get a job. And my mother-in-law was so trusting and beautiful soul. She, you know what? She lived till be 103 years old, and she had the most beautiful spirit that she was so happy when she went to the hospital, and she was there 3 days. And I went the first day and second day, and she said to me, she says, I don't like to be here. And she was so vain because she loved to dress up and everything. When I left there, I said, I'll be back tomorrow. She was gone, and she looked as good as she would ever, like I would see her at home. That was amazing because she practiced all this. She was so kind. She didn't know there were bad people in the world. She was born in that age when it's in the country, everybody knew each other, everybody helped each other. If you didn't have a certain tool, the other neighbor would come, and it was just a brotherly thing. And this is what we needed to practice and keep in our minds, that we will have a better life if we practice all these things. So I'm leaving a few words with you because it starts right in our hearts. If there is righteousness, and righteousness is all these things, in the heart, there will be beauty in the character. If there is beauty in the character, there will be harmony in the home. If there is harmony in the home, there will be order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. And these I leave with you.